Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the October 6th City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Lundy.
Here.
Ernst.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Martin. Here. McIntyre.
Here.
Moss.
Here.
Sluter.
Here.
And Smith.
Here.
We have no approval of remote attendance. Oh, I am so sorry. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. There is no remote attendance. The next item on the agenda is the WCHS Football Bandana Proclamation. And we have one person here to accept the proclamation, and afterwards, if you come forward, you'll receive it. Whereas the tradition of Washington Community High School football has, for over a century, stood as a proud symbol of perseverance, excellence, and unity in the city of Washington, Illinois, and whereas in the autumn of 1981, a meaningful gesture, the passing of a black bandana from player Dale Sparks to teammate Steve Krull, gave rise to a tradition that has endured across generations, becoming a lasting emblem of the spirit and pride of Panther football. And whereas that very bandana, now weathered by time and triumph, has endured decades of challenge, carries onto the field by athletes who wore it as a solemn inheritance of the spirit of victory, responsibility, resilience, and brotherhood. And whereas on August 16th, 2025, the legacy continues as the bandana was passed once again, this time to the 45th senior to bear its weight and honor, reaffirming the values that have long defined Panther football. And whereas the bandana passing the Pride Day to be recognized on October 17th, 2025, will bring together students, alumni, families, and the broader community in a celebration of tradition, reflection, and unity, beginning with a pre-game event at 5 Points, Washington. And whereas the past holders and passers of the bandana, under the banner of the Panther Football Association, continue to honor their past and build upon its legacy, offering scholarships and mentorship to support and inspire the next generation of Panthers. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Lilia V. Stevens, Mayor of the City of Washington, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the 2025 Washington Community High School Panthers football season as a season of legacy. We call upon all Panthers, past and present, to raise their voices, their hearts, and their pride. For the bandana represents more than a piece of cloth. It is a creed, and with every play, pass, and moment on the field, that pride continues to grow. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second, Sluter.
Motion by Ernst, second by Sluter. Any comments, questions? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous approval, motion passes. Thank you. Oh, momentarily, we'll take a picture. Thank you.
Oh, it is Dale.
That's the original.
Come on up, Dale. Wanna be at it.
Oh, crap. Wait a minute. I'm in the back. We're supposed to smile?
Dale, you need to get in there.
Oh my gosh, this is, oh. What? Would you please introduce yourself and Dale while you're here?
So I'm Anthony Fricksell.
My name's Dale Sparks.
So he's one of the founders of the bandana. In doing the proclamation, I asked that the names be left in of the original two because it is a heritage that's meant a lot. So
Well, thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes.
can I just add, the current holder of the bandana is a Josh Hofer, number 55? Yep, this year.
Thank you. Very exciting. All right, moving on. Audience comments. Do we have any audience comments tonight? Okay, no audience comments. Review the agenda, deletions or additions, discussion items only. Next on the agenda is a consent agenda. We have items A, B, C, D. A, approve September 15th, 2025 regular city council, September 20th, 2025 special city council, and September 29th special city council meeting minutes. B, TIF pay request number 11, Tangled Roots, 140 Washington Square. C, approve purchase authorization road salt. D, approve the contract for internet and managed services. Does anyone want to remove one of these items or any items to discuss separately? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Smith.
Second, Martin.
Motion to approve Smith, second Martin. Any questions, comments? Cast your vote, please. Unanimous vote, motion passes. Thank you. Next item, mayoral communications, requested actions. The first item is appointments to the Police Supervisor Selection Committee. All of you have read, or I hope all of you have read the memo that's linked to the City Council meeting. Basically, to summarize, since I might as well read it. Since September 2016, police department sergeants have been selected and appointed solely by the Police Supervisor Selection Committee, and the committee is comprised of the city administrator and 2 alderpersons appointed by the mayor. The committee's additional duty, should it become necessary and upon the recommendation of the chief of police, is to discipline or remove any sergeant appointed by the committee. While discipline or removal of a sergeant requires the recommendation of the chief, appointment of a sergeant is the sole discretion of the committee. The committee's first order of business will be the creation of a selection process consistent with the ordinance. The ordinance provides some authorizations, such as the discretionary authority to conduct interviews of candidates, but does not provide a written process such as one finds in the rules and regulations of the Board of Commissioners. As no prior member of the committee is currently serving in city government, I expect the committee to develop and record this process so that it can be replicated and improved upon, and so the process is transparent to the candidates and the community. The city administrator can marshal the professional guidance of the human resources manager or any other resource necessary to assist the committee. We have alderpersons who are well-suited to these responsibilities. Alderperson John Blundy brings both municipal service and private sector leadership to the Police Supervisor Selection Committee. At Caterpillar, he led global teams and built standardized processes, policies, and performance scorecards that improved efficiency, accountability, and transparency. On the Washington City Council, he has emphasized order and structure in decision-making. Paula Johnson is experienced with creating new processes with minimal direction. She has strong written and spoken language skills, as well as experience in creating and editing process documentation. She has experience professionally and in a volunteer capacity with committees and committee leadership. John and Paula have different complementing personalities and styles, but both are process-oriented. Their combined experience and skill sets with resources brought by the city administrator equip them to help design and apply a fair, transparent, and replicable process for selecting police supervisors. Appointment of the committee will allow the police department to fill any open sergeant positions that will be created by the appointment of a deputy chief. There is no action requested. The ordinance does not provide for ratification of these appointments by the council, but I felt it important to have this memo to explain the committee and the alderpersons that I chose. Any questions? All right. Moving on, B, recap of September Let's Talk Washington. Well, that was held at the police department, and we had about 11 persons attending. There was a very nice post on our city's Facebook page about the Let's Talk Washington. Interestingly, not all the people were pictured because a couple people came after the picture was taken thinking that it was type of an open house situation that we originally talked about, that some people, we couldn't decide if we were going to have the meeting, the whole, like, well, the way the meeting is set up, we have the table set up in a rectangle fashion, so if one person asks a question, everybody can hear the question and the answer, and that's turned out really well since we started this back in May. So it doesn't matter if you come in the beginning, at the end, or in the middle, but just know that you're not interrupting anything, or you shouldn't feel awkward if we're in the middle of a conversation, because that's the way it is, and everybody's welcome at any time. And speaking about Let's Talk Washington, so the October Washington, Let's Talk Washington, the date and time are set, but we still don't have a location. So this will be Tuesday, October 28th at 5:30 p.m. Again, we try to change the time. Sometimes it's in the morning, afternoon, evening. Hopefully it'll fit somebody's schedule sometime. So as soon as we have a location, we will put that on the city's website and the city's Facebook page. Letter D, 5 points, Board September meeting report by City Representative John Blundy.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, a few things I want to cover from September's board meeting. And again, just reminder that they happen the last Wednesday of each month. But a couple things. One, you know, if you come across people that are interested in making donations to 5 Points, just a reminder, anybody can do that anytime. If you look at their website, top left corner, there's a button there that says donate. Feel free to share that with anybody that maybe is interested in that. Kind of along those lines as well, there are opportunities for naming rights to various sections of the building. So if anyone's interested in that, or you know anybody in the community that may have interest, you could direct them to me, or probably Vicki Porman. It's probably a better option. But there's lots of opportunities for that as well that I wanted to share. A couple of things we talked about relative to events that are happening here at 5 Points. One of the things we talked about was, you know, when they have promoted events, they seem to do better with attendance than if it's a venue that's promoted by 5 Points, the facility here itself. And we kind of dug into that a little bit, but one of the things we really recognized, I think, was the ease of buying tickets. So if you go buy something through a promoter's website, that experience is generally fairly easy. Coming through 5 Points, it's a little more difficult to buy, tickets to the shows. So that's something that the staff was going to address there and see what options they could come up with to make the ticket buying experience much easier for events that are promoted by the facility staff here itself. So for October, they've got, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events coming up here in October. So there's Shonda Pierce, there's a Bee Gees tribute show, there's Peoria Pops, there's gospel music, hymn sing, and Boys in the Band, which is an Alabama tribute band. Also, if you haven't noticed, but coming up to the football game, so every home football game, there's a tailgate party here out in the Five Points parking lot. I've only had the chance to attend one of those, but it actually is a really, really well done event and a nice way to spend some time before the game. So if you get a chance, please do that. I think that was the last update from the meeting itself. The one thing I do want to talk about, I'll be working in the month here of October with the Five Points staff to have kind of our annual public hearing meeting. So as part of the redevelopment agreement with Five Points that we signed, was it a year or two ago, where we forgave the $600,000 payment back to the city. Part of that deal was that we would have a public meeting for not just the city here, but all the public entities to meet. So last year, if you remember, we had that meeting. It was actually the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. So I think there was probably fairly low turnout for that, probably because of schedules. So I'm going to try to work with the city or the Five Points staff here on a date time that's probably more accommodating to have that session. So as soon as I find out some more details about that, I'll share that with you as well on when that public session would be. And that's it.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Next. City Administrator Communications, staff reports, requested actions.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item we have on the agenda this evening is the council report that was sent out on Friday. Are there any questions or comments or concerns regarding that council report?
Mayor.
Alderperson Blondie?
Yeah, I just had a question, I think it was down here in the very end. So it's in here, it's actually under your update there, Valerie, about streamlining the tracking the ordinance resolutions to follow the established timelines. I was wondering, can you share what are the timelines, I guess, that we should expect for those ordinance codifications?
Per our agreement, those happen quarterly. Those are sent to them quarterly. So what is being done right now, what's mentioned in this council report is the internal process to make sure that those are all tracked so that one doesn't slip through the cracks. Because this is a new process for the city, we didn't have that as a line item as in the process. We've now included it in the process, and everything is being digitized.
Okay, so every quarter then, when do we, I guess, when does stuff have to be sent to, is it MuniCode?
It is. It goes quarterly, and I don't have that calendar on me. It is back in my office. I'd be happy to share that with you if you want to.
Okay.
I can email that to you.
How have they been performing, like, with keeping up with updates? I mean, have they been meeting their quarterly targets, or?
As far as I'm aware, they are, yeah.
Okay. I still occasionally feel like I'm having some trouble finding updated ordinances. But I don't know if it's MuniCode that's giving us troubles, and if it is, I mean, should the council have a conversation about how to approach MuniCode, or?
What I would do, since this is a newer process for the city, I would say that if you do see something missing, that you give me a call, let me know. I'm happy to contact MuniCode and have them put it in there immediately.
Okay. But you haven't noticed them not performing as they're supposed to be?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Is it possible to have the updates go more often, like monthly as opposed to quarterly? Or do they charge extra for that?
Yeah, that would be outside of our contract. We can renegotiate the contract if
Okay.
council wishes.
It's just, yeah, you want that, any new ordinance to be codified as soon as possible, but I understand budget constraints.
So, Mark, what is typical for like other cities? Do they normally do it monthly?
I've never encountered it, anything other than monthly.
Okay.
Most of I represent mostly villages. I have one other city. There's really no difference when it comes to codification, and they happen very quickly. I find this to be out of the ordinary, how long you wait.
Okay. So yeah, Mayor, I don't know if that's something we could talk about, the committee of the whole or something, to figure out how to speed our process up.
I would recommend it, depending on how much additional money it costs. It's, I would like to see it at least monthly.
We can get a price from Unicode and bring that to council.
Do you know, do we have a term on our contract? Are we bound with Unicode for any period of time? Or is it open-ended? It's just, you don't need to answer on the spot. Check into that, too. There are other providers.
If there are no other questions regarding the council report, the next item we have on the agenda this evening is a purchase authorization approval for website redevelopment. And I'll hand the floor over to our communication specialist for this item.
Thanks, Dennis. So you guys have your memos. This was something that had been approved by council in April in the budget process. And so we've gone through to look at the different providers. Two were very strong in that, Revise and one other that were specialty companies for municipalities. The other that we looked at was they specialize more in schools, so we found that these two were better for us. And then really what it came down to was Revise was able to give us everything that the other provider was able to give us, but more cost effectively. So that's how we came across Revise. I'm happy to, you guys have in the digital, we didn't want to print off the entire packet, but you do have their entire proposal as part of the digital packet if you went over that. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Are there any questions?
Mayor,
Alderperson McIntyre.
Dennis, I don't mean to put you on the spot, do you recall roughly what we budgeted for this? And this is well within it.
So we have 30,000 budgeted under LA. So what is that, legislative and administrative? And then we also have professional services under both water and sewer. So we do have enough budget to accommodate this request.
Thank you.
So this vote is to authorize the city to enter into an agreement with Revise for website development and migration. Cast your votes, please.
Do we need a motion to approve?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I will make that motion.
Okay.
McIntyre.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, McIntyre made a motion, Sluter second. Cast your votes, please. Unanimous, motion carries. Thank you. Next, resolutions. Administrator Carr.
Yes, we have one resolution on the agenda this evening. The synopsis of which is the following resolution would establish the 2026 through 2028 city council goals and accept the executive summary of the goal setting session. By title, adopting the executive summary of 2025 leadership goal setting strategic planning work session.
Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion to approve the resolution, Smith.
Second.
Second Johnson, a motion by Smith, second by Johnson. Any questions, comments? Included in this link is the entire executive summary that was provided after the goal-setting session. So this resolution is adopting the executive summary of the 2025 Leadership Goal-Setting Strategic Planning Work-Setting Session, the 7 goals being in the resolution. Cast your votes, please. Unanimous approval, motion carries. Thank you.
Mayor,
Alderperson Smith?
can I just thank all those that participated in the survey? I think that's great, and maybe next time we'll get even more people.
And you're referring to the community members, correct? Yes. Yes, there were 700-plus community members that filled out the survey.
We have two first reading ordinances on the agenda this evening. The first of which, the synopsis is the approval of this ordinance would amend the City of Washington Code to establish the Office of Deputy City Administrator. By title, amending the City of Washington Code to establish the Office of Deputy City Administrator. If there are no,
I have a comment.
It's up to you.
Is there any interest in waiving the second reading for this ordinance? As I think we mentioned that when we discussed this in the last meeting.
I have a couple comments I'd like to make
Okay.
first.
Alderperson Martin?
Thank you. So there's just three things that I would want to address and just like slight changes. Guess just go in order. So the first one is, I think that, so in B, section B, where it says appointment, I would want to strike the last two sentences. The deputy city administrator shall hold office during the term of mayor unless otherwise indicated at time of appointment. No appointment or contract, however, shall exceed the term of the mayor of the office time of the appointment. I would want to strike that. I would like us to discuss that. I don't think that this position needs to go along with the election because this is just the deputy position to, if there is an opening to be the acting city administrator until the mayor can appoint and council can approve an interim or a permanent position. So I don't think that this should change with that. The whole point of this is to have the stability. So I would want to strike those two sentences. I don't know if we should talk about that or if I should say my other issues.
That is a sort of a statutory requirement when a mayor appoints someone. You don't want to handcuff the subsequent mayor, so it's okay to say that they hold office through the end of the term of the mayor or until someone else is appointed, but you can't, it can't be sort of evergreen. When it's an officer position, employees are different. This is an officer level position, and it needs to be an officer level position because of the responsibilities. So I think we could certainly change that, tweak that language to apply, or until another person is appointed by a subsequent mayor.
And you had another point?
So in section D of that, where it says powers and duties, I think the deputy city administrator shall be responsible to the city administrator, and just strike mayor and, because I think the deputy should be responsible directly to the city administrator, and then anytime they are acting as the city administrator, then they would be responsible to the mayor and the council.
I think that was the intent. It should be clarified because you're right. When there is an actual city administrator, then they report directly to the administrator. But when the city administrator position is vacant, then it would be the mayor. So that probably could be clarified.
And then in section F, the last two sentences I would want to strike, where it says, "It is presumed that the deputy city administrator will be appointed to fill the vacancy in the office of city administrator unless the deputy city administrator does not possess the necessary qualifications and otherwise has not demonstrated satisfactory performance for such office as determined by the mayor and city council." I think we should just strike those altogether because this position, they are the acting city administrator until the council can appoint an interim, or the mayor and council can approve the interim or permanent position. But I don't think they should just be presume that they're going to get that because they might not want it, they might not be ready for it, there might be a whole host of other reasons. I just don't think we need to put that language in there that they'll be presumed, and I certainly don't think we need to have it in there where it's going to be like a negative thing if we don't use it, because there's plenty of other reasons. So I don't think this helps and serves. I would want to strike that. I'm sorry, that was section F.
Any other comments? Agreement, disagreement? Alderperson McIntyre?
Yeah, Mayor. So I agree. I guess with the appointment portion, which I understand it runs with the term of the mayor. But again, for me, this is kind of where I've struggled with this position. As to me, like, we're using this to build, longevity and options moving into the future. I guess where I struggle with this is that the city administrator is a contract that we deal with. Will also then be a contract that we would have to deal with as an appointed person because they have duties outside that of just the normal employee.
We can talk about whether a contract is required, because I think that is optional, but it's an officer-level position that the mayor has the right to appoint. And so a new mayor, you can't handcuff a new mayor on any officer position. Now, if a mayor vacates the post during the 4-year term, there are situations, but for the term of the current elected mayor, all of the officer positions are limited to that term and enough time to give the new mayor, time to make their own appointment. And a lot of times they reappoint the existing people, as we've experienced. But it's by statute, contracts are the same way. Just general contracts have to end or sunset at the end of the term of the mayor, with very few exceptions.
Okay, I guess my other question then to that is, and again, I think this is a great position and I see a use for it. To me, this comes from a city manager requesting this of the council, because the way our current statute reads, in the event that we don't have a city manager, interim city manager, then the responsibilities and rules revert to the mayor, the way I understand it, correct? So like, I guess no matter what, this doesn't codify anything long-term because, and no disrespect, Madam Mayor, if you were not to be reelected or didn't run to seek a second term, that really removes that stability that I feel like this council and what we were discussing, the idea of this position being. So for me, like, again, if this, I guess this is where I struggle with this position in general, putting this on an employee, while I like that idea, like separately, if this was an independent position, if I understand it right, that would be a contracted position too. So if there was a new mayor, then they would hire both the city administrator and the deputy administrator?
Yes, except for the limitation that the deputy has to be an existing department head.
Okay, again, I think this is a great idea. I just feel like I have more questions still, but I'm just processing it.
Any other comments?
Mayor?
Alderperson Moss?
I would agree on the portion F. It feels like that, presume that this deputy city administrator be appointed to fill the vacancy of the office of the city administrator unless, so it's presumed unless one of two qualifications are not met, but both are fairly subjective, right? Satisfactory performance and necessary qualifications aren't really defined. So it feels like an obvious thing that doesn't need to be in the ordinance because there's no real teeth to a specific metric that would demonstrate qualifications or satisfactory performance, either one. So that would be my only feedback.
Any other comments?
If no one else has a comment, I want to continue.
Go ahead.
So then I'm okay with it if we want to say for B, strike the deputy all the way to the end of it and say until a new mayor can appoint another deputy and council approve. So it would read, the deputy city administrator shall hold the office during the term, however you want to word that legally, until a new mayor can appoint another deputy and council approval. So I guess I would want to make a motion. I move to amend this in the three places. One, to add until a new mayor can appoint another deputy and council approve on section B, and then strike the two words mayor and D, because the deputy will only be responsible to the city administrator, because, like I said, once they become the city administrator, then they're responsible to the mayor and the city council. So just strike mayor and D, and then just remove F from it is presumed all the way to the end.
That would leave that although sentence on. Although sentence would be a fragment. I think we eliminate the entire sentence.
Fair enough, yes. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Yes, so just strike that whole thing from although to the end. That is my motion.
I'd second that motion if it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, Alderperson Martin makes the motion, McIntyre seconds. Any questions, comments?
Mayor,
Alderperson Blundy?
I guess I'm just more of a question on that. I mean, I don't know that I have any major disagreement with that motion, but would it make more sense just to wait till the committee of the whole till we see how it's rewritten and discuss it there, but instead of maybe forcing a vote to actually put something, I don't want to tie our city attorney's hands, I guess, to specific language that was motioned. I think I'd rather have the flexibility to see how he rewrites it and then, review, discuss it at the committee of the whole.
Actually, that's how I kind of thought it would be, because the attorney will rewrite it, and then we will look at it at the committee of the whole before it comes for a second reading. Is that what you meant?
Well, I guess, but I didn't know if since there was a motion for some very specific changes, if we make a vote to do that, if it locks him into, it has to be that exact way.
No. I will try to adhere to exactly to what the motion was, but it's a first reading, so we'll come back next week and discuss, and I'll redline it. I'll show the actual changes with strike through and underline for additions, and then we'll have a chance to talk about it again and further tweak the language if that's the desire of the council. And then it would be up for second reading, third week of the month.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure we didn't handcuff you or
Sure.
something. Okay.
Mayor,
Alderperson McIntyre?
I guess I would redact my motion if it's necessary, just in the event. I thought we were trying to push this forward, but if we're holding off and not trying to force a.
Oh, no, we're not forcing anything. I think it's important to get this right.
I agree 100%. I think that's why I was happy to support that motion. So again, I think those are some different areas that need to be addressed. Again, I'm still processing all of it because it is a big change to the way we currently run our process. I think it's a good opportunity for us. It's just different from what I've seen other places. So, but if we needed to move forward, I was willing to do so.
Thank you. Alderperson Moss?
Yeah, one more question that arises out of the conversation we've had here tonight is whether or not this as a position, tacked on to someone's, full-time role, I suppose, if that's how you want to say it. Does it create an additional contractual obligation for the city in terms of, removing someone from that position and there be a financial implication for the city or?
There will certainly be additional pay
Sure.
for the additional responsibilities. Unless you want a separate written contract for the deputy position, there would not be a written contract, but regardless of whether it's in writing or not, that role would be subject to the parameters of the ordinance, which means, the mayor, with the advice and consent of the council, can remove that person at any time.
Yeah, and my concern isn't with extra pay. I, acknowledge that that would be appropriate. My concern would be creating an additional, severance. If you move someone out of that position, would you be, would there be a contractual obligation to, their term of this contract was another year, so we have to pay them this?
No.
Anything of that nature?
No.
Okay.
I would add that, so the interim agreement, contract, whatever, I'm not sure if it's a contract or an agreement, it does not have any type of severance from that. I would assume that this would be something fairly similar.
I would like to add something to, go ahead. Okay. So the reason I personally like this is because when I was sworn in as mayor, I had a choice whether I be the acting city administrator as former Mayor Menier was, or do I appoint somebody to be the interim city administrator. I knew that I couldn't do it myself. I mean, we had Dennis and we had John taking turns at the council meetings. To me, and if a department head doesn't want to take a position, because, who knows what tomorrow brings, then I think that option should be there too, that the mayor also can be the interim city administrator. I don't know if that's in there too, we might have to add that. But originally, how it is now, it's, if there's no city administrator, the mayor is the interim city administrator. But I think it's really important to have somebody who knows what they're doing, and that would be a department head.
There is a section 3 in that ordinance that does give the power to the mayor if there is no city administrator or deputy city administrator.
Alderperson Martin, right? Or was it Blondie, or was it McIntyre?
Sorry.
McIntyre.
I guess the only other thing that, and again, I'm just voicing an opinion on this that concerns me is, again, I like the idea, this additional responsibility to a department head. My concern goes to that compensation portion, and the event that there's a new mayor and they're no longer in that position, then it reduces their compensation. So I feel like it almost have to be a separate contract, not affect their pay.
It would probably make sense to have a separate contract that can be terminated at any time by the mayor with the advice and consent of the council. To spell that out, that's a separate question from the ordinance, whether we need a contract or not, but it probably would be a good idea.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that. Again, as long as the language in the ordinance is fine, I just feel like it's important that we spell that out because, again, that could significantly change somebody's financial income depending on who the mayor is, which is concerning.
Alderperson Martin?
So this, just wanted to clarify, this motion to make these 3 changes for the second reading, we're still going to be able to talk about this in the committee of the whole, and if we have any other adjustments the following week, we'll be able to amend it again, amend it back, or amend it to whatever it is and vote that night. if we want to
Absolutely.
do it.
Anyone else? All right, moving on to,
We have to vote.
oh,
No, it's first reading. Oh, you have to vote on it.
I voted,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's right.
Motion and
Cast-
second. to
Sorry,
amend.
cast your ballots, please.
The amendment to B, D, and F.
Unanimous approval, motion carries. Thank you. Now we go to B.
The second first reading we have on the agenda this evening, the synopsis of which is the approval of this ordinance would amend the City of Washington Code regarding member attendance at board and commission meetings by title, amending the City of Washington Code regarding member attendance at board and commission meetings.
Mayor?
Alderperson McIntyre.
I just wanted to comment that I really like seeing this. I think this is important. We assign people, and the mayor, you recommend people, and we approve it here. for these commissions for a reason. And again, participation is part of that. So I really like to see this, and I think it's important. So thank you for bringing it forward.
Alderperson Martin?
Oh, I'm still on, but I have a comment. Where it says failure to attend 3 consecutive meetings in a row, I like that, although maybe it should be you don't have a reason. But the other repeated failure to attend meetings is just seems a little vague. Like, what does that mean? What could the other option be?
I can explain that. So it's important, again, like Alderperson McIntyre said, for people who have volunteered to come to these meetings on a regular basis, because if you say you're going to be a committee or a commission member and your work requirements change, I mean, obviously work comes first. There are people that do call in and say, I can't be at a meeting, and this has happened like 3 consecutive times. It's a good reason, but it's like, that doesn't help the staff, it doesn't help, the community. That's where that 3 consecutive meetings comes in. The other one is, like, there was an example, there's a commission member that attended 2 meetings out of 9. Like, some committees, commissions don't have meetings monthly, but if you look at the total number of meetings, like maybe the person has attended 3 meetings out of 9, 2 meetings out of 9. That's, that's what that is referring to.
I agree with that. And because this is just to be considered justification, not necessarily meaning you're gone. Right. So I agree.
Any other comments, questions? Okay.
We have one second reading on the agenda this evening, the synopsis of which is the approval of this ordinance would approve and authorize the execution of a First Amendment to a communication site license agreement between the City of Washington and T-Mobile LLC by title, the T-Mobile Water Tower No. 1 Cell Lease First Amendment Agreement.
Motion.
Motion to approve?
Yes, ma'am.
McIntyre, do I have a second?
Smith, second.
McIntyre motions, Smith seconds. Do we have any questions, comments?
One question.
Alderperson Moss?
Was this the agreement where we had the option to move forward some of the payment at a discount for the vendor?
No.
No, that was-
No, that was the prior one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see it mentioned here, so I didn't know if it was taken off the table. I'm thinking of a different agreement. Thank you.
If there are no other questions, comments, cast your vote, please. Unanimous yeses, motion passes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, alderperson comments. Are there any alderpersons wishing to be heard?
Mayor, I did have a question.
Alderperson Ernst.
Where do we stand with the Park District's annexation? I know we talked about it. It seemed that there was a consensus of the council. I expected to see it somewhere on an agenda, and then I haven't. Did something change, or?
The mayor has requested a discussion on a compromise to that agenda item. And so we will have that discussion at next Monday's Committee of the Whole meeting.
I believe everybody received an email explaining that.
I must miss it.
Any other alderperson comments?
Mayor?
Alderperson Sluter?
Yeah, just want to, Paula can correct me if I'm wrong, but Let's Talk Ward 1, we're going to try to do that October 15th, 2025 in the study room. I got those reserved, the 2 study rooms and 5 points here, from 6:30 to 7:30. So we're going to do that again. It was a great turnout last time, I think. So we're going to do that again. So all that are welcome, except for other persons. Thank you.
And the mayor can't be there either. Any other comments?
Mayor,
Alderperson Martin?
I just want to say there was this really cool store that just opened just to the right of Tangled Roots. I don't know if anybody knows the name of it. Rambler. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It has cool male and female clothing, but you should check it out. We're happy they're there.
And on that line, we have a new restaurant opening today. It opened today, Sunny Street. A brunch. It's a brunch place. It's there between Walmart and Menards, open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. All right. With that being said, do I have a motion to go into executive session? Do I read it now or later?
Motion.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Second.
Okay, I will read the description. Executive session 5 ILCS 120-2C11, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed session. I had a motion by Smith and a second by Moss, right? Voice vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Anybody need a couple minutes break?
It's going to be a quick one.
It's going to be a quick one. Okay, then no breaks. Are we good? Oh. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second, Sluter.
Motion to adjourn, Johnson, second Sluter. All those in favor say aye. Smith, so sorry. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.